Hey everyone, I'm going to take a look at the new Player of the Week pack on eFootball. This is the regular Player of the Week pack. I've already done a review of the Champions League Player of the Week pack. That video is live on the channel if you want to check it out. I'll also be doing a review of the new English League pack. I'll try and get that done over the weekend, and I'm also going to review the players that have been added to the penalty game. I'll be doing a separate video for that one as well, so keep your eyes out for those videos. For this video, as always, there'll be timestamps in the description for each player, so if there's a particular player you want to hear about, click in the description and there'll be a link to take you straight to them. So 11 players in the pack. As you can see, I've already done a spin. Wasn't a great one, but we'll come to that. We will start with the lowest rate in the pack. We got a 4-star. So it is Tyrique George from Chelsea. So we have a goal poacher, and he doesn't have a face scan. He's only a 4-star, like I say, and he's not a brilliant one. He does have some qualities. On the ball, he's pretty decent for a centre forward for a goal poacher, but awareness 81, finishing 82, not brilliant. 82 speed as well, not as much speed as I'd like on a goal poacher. Balance isn't great as well, 73. So yeah, you can see why he's a 4-star. He's not a brilliant one. He's normally a left wing forward. They've added centre forward as a position, made him a goal poacher. Usual playing styles, prolific winger. They've also made him semi-proficient at SS, which is completely useless on cards that you can't position train. There's actually been one previous version of this guy. It's a highlight card from some kind of Legend or Showtime pack. That card is better as a left winger. If you train it as a centre forward, you'd have to position train it to go centre forward on that card. But it gets to a similar level to this one overall, but the stats are kind of shuffled around, some higher, some lower, and you would need to put skills on that one. This one has had some skills added. The skills they've added from his GP card is basically everything except scissors feint. So they've added long range curler, long range shooting, first time shot, one touch pass, super sub fighting spirit. So some very good skills have been added there. And he does have some qualities. Like I say, he's pretty decent on the ball for a centre forward. He's got a bit of physical strength, but like I say, he's not quite got the speed I like on a centre forward. The awareness isn't good enough. The finishing's not great. So, and the balance is pretty poor as well. So a few qualities there, and for Chelsea fans, could be a fun one. And if you've just got the game and you need options for the English League Challenge, it could be useful for that. But beyond that, for divisions, for an England squad, I'm not sure this guy's really going to make the grade for many people. It's not a brilliant card. It's obviously a 4-star. So yeah, got a few qualities there, but on the whole, it's not a brilliant card, unfortunately. And our goalkeeper is Jean Butez. Have I said that right? We've got a French keeper. He's got a face scan. Plays for Como in Italy. He's playing in Serie A. About 6'2", unwavering form. He's got his usual skills: low punt, long throw, captaincy. It's the first time I've had a feature version of this guy. And when it comes to it, he's pretty good, to be fair. So the awareness, the reflexes, the reach, and also the catching, all hitting 90 with the game plan boost. If you've got an 88 rated manager. Parrying isn't brilliant, but it's not too bad either. On the whole, he got some pretty good attributes here. The distribution attributes aren't brilliant. He does have low punt though. I think all things considered, at the very least, this guy is a very usable option for the Italian League Challenge. You've got your unwavering form there. I'm not sure how much form he's been getting this season. I'm not familiar with this guy at all, to be honest, but those goalie stats are pretty good. He's not massive, but he's not small either. On the whole, I think what you got, like I say, you got a goalkeeper who's a very, very usable option for the Italian League Challenge, and even beyond that for divisions, or if you rock a France squad, for example. I think this is a pretty decent keeper. Like I said, I'm not familiar with this guy, so when I saw his name, I was not expecting a great card, and it might not be a great card, but it's a good one. It's a good, solid keeper, unless you've got some really beefy, legend keepers like the likes of Czech, Schmeichel, those types of keeper. I think for most other people, this could be a very decent option, to be fair. So yes, a really good, solid goalkeeper card, that is. And this is the guy I got for my free spin. Yay. So we have got a 5-star centre-back with 78 defensive awareness, 80 tackling. Good grief. This guy is not great. This is actually the second time we've had a feature version of this guy, and the previous version was also a Player of the Week card, and it was also an extra frontman centre-back. He's normally a right-back with the full-back finisher playing style, but for the second time they've given him a Player of the Week card that's a centre-back. They've added centre-back as a position. He's normally only semi-proficient there, and again, he's an extra frontman. Still doesn't have a face scan. He's only 6 foot tall, jumping's only 83, physical contact's not brilliant. He does have good pace for a centre-back. But as I started on there, these core defensive attributes, they are not good enough. This guy cannot defend. Inconsistent form as well. Down the left, he's decent enough for a centre-back, especially that lofted pass. Skill-wise, they've thrown in a bunch of skills. They've given him one-touch pass, through passing, pinpoint crossing. Are they useful for a centre-back? Crossing might not be, I suppose. One-touch pass and through passing are nice ones to have in a centre-back, though, certainly. Interception and blocker are very good ones to have in a centre-back, but we're missing man marking still. You've got aerial superiority, not heading. His heading's not quite brilliant, but even with aerial superiority, how many headers is he going to win? 6 foot tall, 83 jumping. The way most people are playing the game these days, spamming crosses to big strikers, this guy's going to get absolutely gobbled up. And that's before you factor in what I've mentioned a couple of times already, the fact that he just cannot defend. this card is a real dud as a centre-back. I'm definitely going to be releasing mine. So yeah, I'm not going to spend too much longer talking about him, at least as a centre-back, because as a centre-back, for me, this card is just terrible. But he does have another position play, which is right-back. And as a right-back, if you like a very defensive fullback, I think he could be usable. He's not got electric pace, but I think he's quick enough. He can get away with that pace, certainly as a fullback. He's physically strong for fullback. He's going to be more of a defensive, physical fullback than an attacking one. So I think you can forgive him the balance not being great. Stamina's fine. Down the middle, he might not be quite as strong as most people would like a defensive fullback to be, but he's not weak either. Down the left, yes, he's going to be pretty horrible on the ball. You're going to have to be careful there, but he does have one-touch passing, through passing, and most people who like a real defensive fullback will probably be okay with these attributes. I would have thought at least a lot of people would be. So, yeah, as a centre-back, I think it's a real dud. But as a defensive fullback, if you can spare an instruction to put the defensive instruction on him to hold him back and make him really play as a defensive fullback, I think there are plenty of very decent attributes there and some very good skills. It would be nice if he did have man marking, even as a fullback. But outside of that, interception and blocker, one-touch pass, through passing, pinpoint crossing, there are some qualities as a right back. So as a right back, especially as a defensive right back, if you put the defensive instruction on him, could be useful. As a centre back, absolutely not. It stinks for me, this card. And again, this is a French league card. We don't get a French league challenge, so are you going to use him in divisions? Centre back, hell no. As a right back, especially a defensive right back, maybe he could do a job for you. Not great, but he could do a job for you. Maybe if you rock a Panama squad, that's Panama, isn't it? Yeah, Panama. Do you rock a Panama squad? No, didn't think so. So yeah, as a centre back, rubbish. As a right back, especially as a defensive right back, could do a job for you. But beyond that, yeah, not a great card. And we got our first booster of the pack. We've got Riccardo Orsolini, the creative playmaker who can't pass to save his life. Why do they do this? I've ranted about this once or twice before. I watched the game. He was not a playmaker. You could make an argument for the creative playmaker playing style, but was he that different to the way he normally plays? Because he's normally a prolific winger. I mean, he wasn't a playmaker for me. And if he was a playmaker, make his passing better. Otherwise, if he was a playmaker, his passing was that bad, why is he in Player of the Week? I'll tell you why he's in Player of the Week. He's in Player of the Week for scoring an overhead kick. So why is he a playmaker? I don't understand. Anyways, that's what he is. He's a creative playmaker. If you don't mind that playing style on a wide man, cool. It's not a bad card at all. And he's got a boost as well. Let's activate the booster. It's got to be something to do with shooting, doesn't it? Ball control, finishing, kicking power, physical contact's got to be shooting. Yep, shooting. He's got a face scan as well. So yeah, you've got a card where you look at the attributes on this guy. Pace is pretty good. Kicking power, especially on A form, is pretty good. He's got some physical strength on him as well. That must have been boosted. I'll check that in a second. Decent balance. On the ball is pretty tidy. Attacking awareness, that's decent enough. Finishing is good, especially on A form. But like I say, the passing sucks. That low pass is 72. Have they given him any passing skills? None. Yeah, so you've got a creative playmaker who absolutely cannot pass to save his life. Fantastic. We've had previous versions of Orsolini. We've had a previous Player of the Week card that was also a creative playmaker. Similar level to this one, really. The stats kind of shuffled around a little bit. I've had a couple of highlight versions of Orsolini as well. I've got one of those. This card is higher rated than those, but it's not a massive difference. You got a bit more pace, a bit more physical contact, and a bit more finishing on this one, but not quite as much attacking awareness. To be honest, though, I would keep the highlight one of the highlight cards. I can't speak properly. If you've got one of them like I have, and just put skills on it. If you're happy with it, I don't think you really need this one. Albeit it's nice to have that physical strength these days. But yeah, skill-wise, looks like all they've done is take away flip-flap, I think. And we've been given, of course, acrobatic finishing for the overhead kick and first-time shot and super sub because he came on as a sub. Yep, that makes sense. So long-range curler, long-range shooting, acrobatic finishing, first-time shot. You've got a bunch of shooting skills, even if he can't pass to save his life. Outside curler's a nice one. He's a super sub as well. Double touch. A lot of people like double touching. Fighting spirit. You've got some decent skills there. He's very much a winger who's going to be more about getting into good attacking positions and scoring goals than he is getting on the ball and playmaking, albeit he is apparently a creative playmaker. But yeah, I think it's just come down to that playing style. If you like a wide man to really get on the ball and playmaking, pick a pass, this is not going to be the one for you. By all means, you can use that playing style on a winger and not pass the ball so much. If you just want to make use of the fact he's going to hold back and look to get on the ball from deep and then just ping long shots with this guy, he's definitely got the ability to hit a long shot. He's got a good finishing attribute. It's got long range shooting, long range curler, first time shot. So you could certainly make use of him with that creative playing style. It just depends on what works for you. I personally don't like the playing style on a wide man, but that doesn't mean he won't work for you. He may well work for you. And use him through the middle. maybe. I think the passing is even more important there, so I wouldn't do that. And wide left, lofted 74. He doesn't have pinpoint crossing. Nah, he's a left footer. I wouldn't be putting him on the left. But on the right hand side, if that creative playmaker playing style works for you, yes, he can't pass to save his life. So really be very careful not to ask too much when you're passing the ball. But outside of that, getting him on the ball with the pace, his ability on the ball, the awareness, and especially the finishing and the shooting skills he's got, he could be a handy one. Just comes down to that playing style really. But it's certainly not a bad card. Just a question of whether you can make him work with that playing style and with the profile he's got. But especially for the Italian League Challenge and in general for a fair few people, this could be a pretty tidy card to have. And next we have Adrien Truffert. I hope I've said that right. We got a French left winger. This guy's normally a left back. He's got a face scan. They've made him left midfielder, cross specialist. It's the first time I've had a feature version of him. I predicted he'd be in because I just had a quick look on SofaScore. I think it was on Friday the match he played, and they gave him 10 out of 10, got goal and assist. So yeah, I had a feeling he might put him in. But yeah, he's normally a left back, attacking fullback. This time a left midfielder, cross specialist. Cross specialists will obviously hug the touchline and constantly look to get into positions to cross the ball, which is something he's very good at. That's the one thing he's got that really stands out. 88 lofted pass, and of course he's got pinpoint crossing, so he's going to have a great cross on him. What else they've done skill-wise here? Pinpoint crossing he's already got. They've just taken away gamesmanship. That's the only one he's lost, and they've given him long-range shooting, through passing, captaincy, I guess he was captain at the time, and fighting spirit. They love putting fighting spirit on attacking players in Player of the Week. I'm not complaining, it's a good skill to have. So yeah, long range shooting, and then one touch pass and through passing, pinpoint crossing. Soul control is a nice one to have. Outside curler likewise. Got some good skills on this guy. But really the issue I've got with him, yes, the pace is decent, and he's got a fantastic cross on him, but you've got two positions you can use him in, and sadly, he's either going to be a left back who's not very good at defending, or he's going to be a left midfielder who's not very good in the ball. Neither of those are something I particularly want, and especially since we don't get a French league challenge. So you look at this guy either for your France squad. I think most people have probably got a better left winger for their France squad, or just for divisions. Is this guy going to get into your strongest squad? Maybe. I mean, you stick him on the left wing with the pace he's got and the cross he's got, and you just literally give him the ball and get him to cross the ball into the box. He could certainly do that for you, but what can he do beyond that? He's going to do a lot of dribbling and taking it past the defender. No, he's not great on the ball. You're going to play him at left back. Can't really defend. The defensive attributes aren't great. There are no defensive skills there, so yeah, he's got good searching skills, he's got some pace and crossing ability, but that's it. So he's a bit limited for me. I wouldn't be putting him anywhere near my team as a left back without more defensive ability, and as a left winger, I like my left wingers to be a lot more comfortable on the ball than that. So yes, he's got a great cross, he's got a bit of pace about him, so if you like spamming crosses at the moment, you don't have any cross specialist options, he could be a handy one for you, but we don't get a French league challenge, like I say, and for divisions, I imagine a lot of people have better options as a left winger or as a left back than this guy. So he's definitely got some good qualities, but there just aren't enough of them. It's a pretty limited card for me. So yeah, not a great one in my opinion. Next up, we have goal poacher Leandro Trossard from Arsenal. So he's normally a playmaker. This time, he's a goal poacher. He's got a face scan, of course. Got unwavering form. Fairly two-footed. We've had a few Player of the Week cards of Trossard over the course of time. The best one is actually, I think it's the oldest one from a couple of years ago. It's a deep line forward. I'm pretty sure it's the one that I've got. I quite like him wide left or just behind the attack. He's quite neat on the ball. Bit better than this one, to be honest. But the rest of his previous Player of the Week cards aren't quite as good as this one, though. And if you look at the best trainable versions of Trossard, including the recent Arsenal pack version, to be honest, better than this card in my opinion. They look a bit better as a wide man, and if you train the recent versions of Trossard, the better trainable versions of him as a centre forward, they actually look a bit better as a centre forward. Obviously the stats are shuffled around a little bit. They don't tend to be as good on the ball if you train him as a striker, but you can get a bit more awareness and finishing, which is pretty crucial on a striker. So yeah, if you've got a good trainable version of Trossard, you might find you've got a better one, but you do have that goal poacher playing style on this one, to be fair though. So keep that in mind. What they've done with this guy skill-wise, it's difficult to do a direct comparison to his GPR because obviously they changed his position and stuff, giving him a slightly different profile. But if you look at the skills, they've taken away scissors feint, knuckle shot, rising shot, I think. And they've given him soul control. That's a nice addition. outside curler's new, and fighting spirit, of course. So yeah, we got some of the most important ones for a striker. He's obviously not a big physical striker, so we've not got things like heading and aerial, but we do have first time shot, long range shooting, and long range curler. Soul control is a very nice one. Does help a lot with long range curlers. Outside curler, super sub, always good to have a super sub. Fighting spirit. It's a decent card, this. Like I say, it's not the best version of Trossard, but it is different. And you know, it's a goal poacher, which is very different to creative playmaker or deep line forward, other play styles that he's had previously. But just if you look at it in isolation as a goal poacher, similar to other cards that we've had in Player of the Week and other packs recently, the awareness at 83, the finishing at 83, they're both too low for me. You can get away with it. I imagine a fair few people will look at that and say, well, he's good enough elsewhere. That's fine. I don't mind that. And if that's the case for you, then go for it. You could have a very nice card because he's very nice on the ball. Passing's decent for a centre forward, although he doesn't have one-touch pass or through passing, which surprised me a little bit for Trossard. I thought he'd have at least one of those. Decent pace. I'd like a bit more speed on him, but he's not slow by any means. He's going to be nippy. Decent balance, a little bit of physical strength, a bit more than I would expect on a Trossard card, but there we go. But yeah, like I say, there are plenty of qualities there. I'd like a bit more speed on him, but more importantly, the awareness and finishing for me are just a bit too low. So does look decent, does look usable. You could certainly still use him wide left. He's got more pace than he sometimes has. He's going to be tidy on the ball. The awareness and the finishing. Long range curl, long range shooting, first time shot. Yeah, wide left, he might actually be better in that position than as a striker, albeit he won't have an active playing style there. But for me personally, I think wide left is where you get the most value out of him. I don't think he's got the passing to play as a number 10. Don't think the awareness and finishing are quite good enough to play as a striker. But if you don't mind the lack of an active playing style, playing on wide left, left midfield, or left wing forward, the pace, on the ball attributes, the awareness and finishing, especially with the shooting skills he's got, cutting onto his right foot from that position, his normal position, could be very decent. So depending how you use him, like I say, for me personally, the awareness and finishing don't cut it as a striker. The passing doesn't cut it as a number 10. I think it'd be best coming off the left wing onto his right foot. But depending how you use him, there's one or two ways you could use him, depending on which attributes you consider to be high enough. I think for a fair few people, it could be a handy one, especially for the English League Challenge. So it could be a handy card for you, versatile. Always nice to have a super sub. I don't think it's a brilliant one as a goal poacher, certainly, but there are one or two ways you can use him. I think for a fair few people, it could be a handy card to have. We all know the rules by now. If Newcastle get battered, one of the players from the other team gets some Player of the Week. Thanks, Konami. As if I've not suffered enough with my terrible spins today. So we've got Ollie Watkins from Villa. He's got a face scan, of course, got unwavering form. He's a goal poacher centre forward. And it's not the first Watkins card we've had. We've obviously had quite a few at this point. We've had a Player of the Week, we've had a Player of the Season, both fairly similar to this card in terms of overall ability. Stats kind of shuffled around a bit. He's on a similar level to the better trainable versions that we've had of Watkins, to be honest. Few more skills than those trainables tend to have, though. Those trainable versions of him do tend to have a bit more awareness and or finishing, albeit we've got some slightly higher attributes in other areas like on the ball, etc. But in terms of overall ability, he's around about the same level as the better versions of Watkins that we've had previously. From his GP card, they've mainly boosted him on the ball. On the ball is the one area, and passing as well, where he's been improved quite a bit from his GP card. Outside of that, nothing else has really been boosted much. They've actually taken 3 points away from his attacking awareness compared to his auto-allocated GP card. That's a little bit strange. They do make strange decisions with some of these cards, obviously. So, yeah, it's a bit of a shame. 85 for me, it's workable, but I'd like a bit more attacking awareness than a striker. So that's a little bit of a shame. And an 84 finishing as well. Likewise, it's just a little bit on the low side. But he does have qualities, this guy. Got pretty good pace. I think he deserves more physical contact than that. He's a pretty strong boy, Ollie Watkins, in my opinion. I think he deserves his physical to get up towards the 80 mark, in my opinion. Got a bit of balance, though. Decent stamina. And like I say, on the ball and passing have been boosted from his GP card, which is good. Have they given any passing skills? We've got through passing. Is that new? Yeah, they've added through passing. They've added fighting spirit, of course. Long range curler. First time shot, that's one skill that he always seems to lack. So it's crucial they've given him that. They have given him it. First time shot, long range curler and long range shooting. No acrobatic finishing, no heading. Bit of a shame, but he does have aerial superiority, so he will win some headers for you. I did have a version of Watkins. I think I got the one from either... It was when I bought either David Villa or Guardiola from the coin store. There was an Ollie Watkins card came with that, and he felt pretty decent. I ended up releasing him just because I needed the squad space at the time. But he did win headers. I did notice he won headers. He was quite strong in the air. Heading is 80, jumping 83. So with aerial superiority, his headers, I imagine, will probably go over the bar quite often, but he won't be bad in the air. He might be worth putting some crossing towards him if that's the way you like to play. But no acrobatic finishing, no heading skill. It's a bit of a shame. But certainly, like I say, first time shot, long range curl, long range shooting. Hiltrick's a handy one. Fighting spirit, you've got some good skills there. And yeah, he's pretty much on the same kind of level overall as previous, you know, Watkins cards. He's up there with the better versions, but they're all, the stats are shuffled around from one version to the next. Like I say, you might have a version with better awareness, better finishing, or both, in which case I'd suggest you might have a better version of him. But this is a decent version, certainly got some pace, good on the ball and passing compared to other versions of him, and some good skills have been added in, especially first time shot. But like I say, the attacking awareness for me, and especially finishing, a bit on the low side. They could be worse though, so if you don't mind those being at the level they're at, there's certainly plenty of qualities, especially for that English League Challenge. It could be a pretty handy striker to have, with the skills they've added especially as well. So yeah, not an amazing card. One or two areas where I'd like to see a little bit better, one or two skills I'd like them to have, especially heading and acrobatic finishing, but on the whole it's a pretty tidy striker, and I imagine if you get this guy, he could be a very decent option for a lot of people, especially for the English League Challenge, and maybe in divisions as well. It's a solid striker card. And we have our next booster. We've got Bryan Mbeumo. He's a whole player this time. Got a face scan, of course. Let's activate that booster. What is it? Speed, acceleration, stamina, attacking awareness. What is that going to be? Off the ball. Okay, he's got the off the ball booster. Cool. So, weaker foot accuracy's gone up by 1. Similar level to previous Player of the Week cards. I've had a few Player of the Week versions of Mbeumo, a couple of prolific wingers, one creative playmaker. I've got a prolific winger version. I think it's the most recent version. Solid card. I've not used it much, to be honest. I'd love to give you an in-depth review, but it's kind of felt alright, but not amazing. And there's not a massive difference between this one and the previous ones, to be honest. The stats are kind of shuffled around slightly here and there, but not a massive difference really. Just probably the playing style more than anything. I was saying when I was reviewing Lamine Yamal in the Champions League pack, I think a lot of people, including me, would much prefer a whole player to a creative playmaker, certainly. So that playing style does appeal to me. I'd be pretty pleased if I did get this guy for my free spin, albeit I didn't, so I guess I won't be getting him. Certainly not using any coins on these packs. But yeah, he's a whole player this time. From right midfield, that will be active. It will be active from SS as well, if you wanted to use him as an SS. Low pass at 78, that will hit 80 with the game plan boost. Does he have through passing? He does. So you could probably get away with this guy as an SS, to be fair. He's got a little bit of physical strength about him. Passing isn't too bad. Good on the ball, pace, good awareness and finishing. Yeah, he would work as an SS perhaps. I think most people would probably prefer him as playing wide right, or cutting in onto his left foot. He's got long range curler, long range shooting, first time shot, decent finishing attributes. So yeah, probably most people would prefer him coming off the right wing. But yeah, it's a decent looking version from Mbeumo. The playstyle might be the one thing that appeals to a lot of people, that really makes this card very appealing. I've had a couple of highlight cards actually before I forget. He's better than both the highlight cards that we've had. So yeah, this is a nice looking version from Mbeumo. From his GP card, if you auto allocate his GP card, we've basically got what we've got here. We've got more speed, got a bit more physical contact, got a bit more tight possession, low pass, finishing. All those attributes been boosted a bit. So yeah, decent looking boost. And then skill wise, we have lost scissors feint, dipping shot. I think we've lost heel trick. That's a bit of a shame. I like heel trick. Penalty specialist we can live without, but yeah, heel trick's gone. That's a bit of a shame. That's a nice skill to have. And they have added double touch. The double touches will be pleased about that. First time shot is a new one. I didn't realize that was new. Through passing is new as well, and of course fighting spirit. So pretty good such skills on this guy. Like I say, through passing helps in general, but especially if you're going to use them through the middle as an SS. Through pass will be a good one, an important one to have there. Makes him much more usable in that kind of central area behind the attack. First time shot, long range shooting, long range curler, coming off the right wing, very important. As a striker, could you get away with him as a striker? I mean, on A form, 83 awareness, 83 finishing. Like I've said with other one or two players today already, I don't think those are high enough for a centre forward, but fantastic on the ball. The passing will be very decent for a centre forward with that through passing skill. Pace is good, bit of kicking power behind the shots, decent balance. You could get away with him as a centre forward. He won't have an active playing style there, and like I say, the awareness and finishing for me, even on A form, not as high as I'd want him to be, but outside of those attributes, he does have a lot of qualities. So you've got a few ways you could use this guy. I don't personally fancy him as a centre forward, but as an SS, and particularly coming off the right flank onto his left foot with the skills that he's got, certainly he can score goals, and he's got a decent passing ability as well. And with that whole player playing style as a right midfielder, making those attacking runs into spaces, could be a very interesting one to have. So yeah, on the whole, especially for the English League Challenge, but even outside of that in divisions, could be a handy one to have. I think wide right or through the middle, 2 or 3 ways you could use this guy. He's got plenty of qualities. I think that's a very tidy looking card, to be honest, on the whole. Next we have Éderson, who played well for Atalanta in the San Siro. They beat AC Milan at the weekend, Atalanta. Got a face scan. box-to-box centre midfielder. That's what he normally is. Got unwavering form. And it's a fairly tidy kind of all-rounder of a card. He's got a bit of everything, but not really, doesn't really seem to excel anywhere. One thing with this guy is his passing is not brilliant. 84 low pass. I feel like they've done him dirty a little bit there. I would like that to be a bit higher. Even before the update, I would have liked that to be a bit higher. Especially now with the passing attributes being even more important. I remember his player of the season card at the end of last season. I remember reviewing that and saying that they'd done him dirty with his passing on that one. They only gave him 82, I think, low pass on that one. So they barely improved it on this one, this version of him. He does have one-touch pass and through pass, and they've added both those skills. So that the fact they've added those two skills does massively improve his passing. But yeah, they've actually nerfed his passing bit from his GP card. That's very, very annoying. So that's why it's not a bit higher. I don't know why they've done that. Centre midfielder, player of the week, worse at passing than he normally is. Okay, that makes perfect sense. Not. Nerfed his kicking power a bit as well and his stamina, but they boosted his attacking awareness, they boosted his finishing, his defensive attributes are up a bit, his physical and aerial strength. So yeah, he's had a bit of a boost in some areas, but had a slight nerf on a few attributes. The passing especially, why would you nerf someone's passing when they're a centre midfielder and player of the week? Someone make sense of that to me. Skill-wise, what they've done skill-wise, taking away Marseille turn. They love taking Marseille turn away. They've taken away weighted pass as well. They take weighted pass away quite often from midfielders. It's really annoying because it's a really nice skill to have. We've also lost dipping shot and gamesmanship. What have we had added here? We know we've got one-touch pass and through passing. Those are new. First time shot is new, heading is new, and track back is new as well. So yeah, on the whole, pretty good selection skills there. Got the most important passing ones on the midfielder. Outside curves, a nice one to have. Interception, fighting spirit. But yeah, why isn't the passing a bit better? Very frustrating. On the ball is alright, not amazing. Attacking awareness would like to be a bit higher. Finishing's fine on centre mid. Defences are pretty solid. They're round about on the mark for a centre mid box to box. Pretty decent pace for a centre mid, to be fair. Quite physically strong. The balance is a little bit on the low side though. Stamina's alright. Yeah, on the whole, it's a solid centre mid really. I mentioned the player of the season version that we've had. But a couple of highlight versions as well. We've got on this card, we've got a bit more finishing, a bit more defensive ability, a bit more acceleration and physical contact. But on the highlight versions, we've had a couple. We had a bit more passing. The passing is better on those versions. A bit more kicking power and stamina on those cards as well. So some pros and cons compared to the highlights that we've had of Éderson. They're both from kind of Legend or Showtime packs. So yeah, it is a decent card. It's got qualities. Quite a few attributes are pretty much where you want them to be, but he's just not really excelling anywhere. And that passing for me, like I say, is just not quite as high as I'd like it to be. And it's annoying they've nerfed it slightly from his GP card. So it's a solid card, this. I don't think he's quite strong enough defensively to be an out-and-out defensive mid. I don't think he's good enough down the left column to be an attacking mid. I think he's very much a centre midfielder. It's got good selection skills, and there's plenty of attributes here that are high enough, but there's just nothing really here that jumps out. I can't really say he's great at this or great at that. He's just kind of all right at a lot of things and just not quite as good at passing as I'd like him to be. So it's not a bad card. Could be a decent option for the Italian League Challenge if you don't have many centre midfielders, but it's just not a particularly exciting version of Éderson. I feel like it could have been better. It's not one I'd be too excited to get if I did get him, unfortunately. Yeah, next up we have Trent. So he came off the bench and scored, of course. Got a face scan, surprisingly enough. He's got unwavering form. He's an attacking fullback this time. He's normally a fullback finisher, so changed his playing style. The weaker foot accuracy is +1. And it's a pretty good version of him, to be honest. We've had quite a few versions of Trent at this point. We've had obviously a couple of Legend and Showtime versions. Goes without saying they're the best versions of him. But outside of those, this one's looking pretty decent. It stacks up pretty well. We've had a couple of player of the week versions of Trent. We've had there's one that was a left back. There's one that's a centre midfielder. There's not a lot of difference between this one and the left back one, although this one does have man marking interception. So for that reason alone, I would probably favour this version. The centre midfield version, not too different either really, but this one is a bit better as a right back certainly. He's got a bit more pace and defensive ability. Outside the Legend and Showtime versions, stacks up pretty well against the better trainable versions that we've had of Trent. Bear in mind, most of them are fullback finishers or cross specialists. Cross specialist is not an active playing style as a right back. But yeah, and this is an attacking fullback, so the playing style might sway you either way. If you've got the one from the free kind of skill up one that you get when you first get the game and you do those skill up challenges, It's not quite as good as this card overall, but there's not a massive difference. In my opinion, if you got that one, you don't need this one. I wouldn't bother trying to get this one, albeit you do have those extra defensive skills that do make a difference, but you can skill train that one, to be fair. So yeah, I wouldn't rush to get this one if you got that skill up one, which most people probably do at this point. Compared to the GP card, they've taken 1 point away from his speed and his stamina. Why? Well, what's the point? But yeah, they've done that, but they have boosted his acceleration a little bit. His physical contact's up a bit. His defending is a little bit worse on the whole than it normally is, strangely. Passing's up a bit though. His finishing has had a big boost, of course, because he scored. That's pretty much it, to be honest. Skill-wise, what's changed skill-wise? They've taken away soul control. That's a bit stingy. That's a nice one to have on most players. It's usually one you want more on attacking players, but he's a very attacking fullback. So yeah, a bit of a shame we've not got soul control anymore. What else have they taken away? They've taken away acrobatic clearance and the captaincy, and they've added first time shot. Yep, that makes sense because he scored, obviously. Man marking interception, as I say, and super sub, of course, because he came off the bench. So yeah, you got a super sub fullback if you want a super sub to bring a right back to bring off the bench. But man marking interception, I think those are the two key ones there. Big additions on any fullback that doesn't already have them. You know he's going to be great going forward. One touch, through passing, weighted, pinpoint crossing, outside curl, load off the pass. He's going to be great on the ball with his passing, certainly. And defensively, he's alright. It's decent. Pace, I would like a bit more. I think it's a little bit on the slow side for a fullback. It's not disastrously slow, but I think most people would like a bit more pace on a fullback. Physical strength, he's got a little bit, not the strongest though. Balance is a little bit on the low side as well. So yeah, one or two attributes I'd like to be a bit higher. The pace is the main thing for me, really, but you know what you get with Trent. You get him forward, you get him on the ball. When you start picking a pass or a cross, he's going to be fantastic with his own product. The fact they've given him interception and man marking, and for a lot of people, the fact they've made him an attacking fullback instead of a fullback finisher might make this a very interesting version of Trent. So skill-wise, looking pretty good there. Even though they've taken away soul control and acrobatic clearance, that's two skills they've taken away, which is a bit of a shame. But nice additions though with man marking interception. And yes, he's a bit slow, maybe he's lacking in balance, but there are plenty of qualities there as well. So yeah, we've had other versions of Trent. If you've got a good version already, you may well decide that you don't really need this one. Even the one from the skill up challenge, like I say, different playing style, doesn't have the skills that this one does, but I don't think that this one's a massive improvement on that one on the whole. So I think for most people, you probably wouldn't need this one, but if you don't have a good version of Trent, or if you really want an attacking fullback version, or you want a version that's got man marking interception to save you from having to skill train the one you've got, then yeah, plenty of qualities there. One or two areas in which I'd like it to be a bit better, but on the whole, it's a good attacking fullback and it's a good version of Trent. And we finish up with our last booster, and it's Dani Olmo. We've got a few Dani Olmo Player of the Week cards. Got a face scan, of course, and his booster gives him attacking awareness, ball control, low pass, and kicking power. What booster is that? I've got no idea. Offense Creator. Okay, we've got the Offense Creator booster. Cool. So yeah, this is a good version of Olmo. We've had a few versions of him. We've had a bunch of Player of the Week cards. There's one or two that come quite close to this one. One of them's got left field as well, which this one doesn't. But when the booster's active on this one, it gives it the edge and makes it pretty much the best Player of the Week version we've had of Olmo. He's around a similar level to the better trainable version we've had of Olmo as well, including the recent Barcelona pack version. He's not quite as good on the ball as he tends to be on his highlight cards, but he's got a bit more speed, he's got a bit more kicking power, and on A form he's got a bit more passing as well. On the whole, like I say, similar level to the better trainables, and it's just about the best Player of the Week card, I think. Speed is something I boosted from his GP card, along with physical contact. His defensive ability, of course, on an attacking player, as is always the case, and his finishing. Nerfed him a little bit on the ball, which is a little bit frustrating, but he is still good on the ball, though. And then skill-wise, what changes have they made here? We lost acrobatic finishing, that's a bit of a shame. We lost dipping shot as well, and they've given us first-time shot and gamesmanship. I think that's about it. So yeah, pretty decent skills in one-touch pass and through passing. Depends where you're going to use him, really. As an attacking midfielder, and one-touch pass and through passing, the crucial ones. Long-range curves are a nice one to have. First-time shot as well. He's a super sub, always a super sub, always handy. Super soul control's a nice one to have. Yeah, on the whole, you got a pretty tidy Dani Olmo card here. A bit more pace than normal, which is great. That does mean that not only that he's a bit quicker when he plays as attacking mid, but he makes him more viable as a wide man. I wouldn't personally use him on the right. Has he got pinpoint crossing? He does have pinpoint crossing. Lofted 78, so that'll hit 80 with the game plan boost. His crossing will be alright. I don't think it'll be amazing. I think it'll be more effective from the left wing, cutting onto his right foot with a bit more pace than normal. He's reasonably quick. very tidy on the ball, good attacking awareness, good finishing. His passing is going to be nice as well for a wide man. I think coming off that left flank, albeit without an active playing style, with the skills he's got and the attributes, he could actually be very decent there. This could be a very nice version of Dani Olmo if you want to use Dani Olmo as a wide left forward. As an attacking midfielder, likewise, tidy on the ball, getting a pretty decent passing. It's not amazing without A-form, but certainly with A-form, it's going past the 90 mark with the maximum game plan boost. He's got the passing skills, awareness and finishing are good. That attacking awareness in the 80s with the whole player playing style from attacking midfield, he's going to make some good attacking runs. Bit of pace, bit of kicking power, bit of balance. This is a nice Dani Olmo card on the whole. Got a decent selection skills. Shame we've lost accurate finishing, but I think we can live without that. First time shot, at least, is a decent addition there. It's always nice to have a super sub, so yeah, at the very least for the Spanish League Challenge, it could be a very tidy option to have, but I think a lot of people see it as being a more valuable card than that. It could well be one that could be useful for you in your main squad, certainly in your Spain squad in the national team challenge if you ever rock a Spain squad. And yeah, just in general, it's a very tidy card. It's one of the better versions of Dani Olmo that we've had. And whether you use him through the middle or wide left, you could use him wide right, like I say, but I think certainly wide left could be very useful there, or through the middle. So yeah, it's a very tidy Dani Olmo card. This one of the better versions of him that we've had, and I imagine this is probably going to be one of the more appealing cards in the pack for most people. So there is your regular Player of the Week pack, worldwide, regular, whatever you want to call it. I think it's an alright pack. I think like most packs these days, it's not amazing. There's not a lot in there that gets me too keen to get my coins out and start spending coins trying to get anyone out of the pack, but I do think there are some decent cards in there. I think the two low rated ones, Tyrique George and the guy I got, Murillo, really not great cards in my opinion. I think Butez looks like a very decent goalkeeper, to be fair. It could be a very useful one, especially for the Italian League Challenge. Truffert, do you want a winger who's not great on the board, or a fullback who's not very good at defending? Yeah, I didn't think so. It's a shame. He's got a bit of pace. He's going to have a great cross on him, but beyond that, there's not a lot about him, and there's no French League Challenge, so a bit of a shame with that one. Orsolini, creative playmaker. Nah, for me, that playing style just makes a mess of the card. But if you do like a creative playmaker out wide and you don't mind the fact he can't pass, then he could still be a very good card for a lot of people. Ollie Watkins, not an amazing card, but I think he's a solid striker. Could be a handy one for plenty of people. Trossard, likewise, I don't think it's worse than finishing quite high enough for a centre forward, but they could be fine for some people. He's got loads of qualities elsewhere, especially if you play him as a wide man on the left, cutting in onto his right foot. Could be pretty handy that way. Éderson, solid centre mid, but I don't think it's a particularly exciting one. I'm annoyed his passing is not a bit better. And Mbeumo, whole player, could be a pretty tidy one. I think it's a pretty handy looking card, that. And another whole player, Olmo, I think it's a very nice card. Arguably the best card in the pack. Attacking mid or wide, I think it could be a very nice one to have as a very good version of Olmo. And then Trent, not the most exciting version of Trent, but it's a solid one. The playing style might be what makes that an appealing card for you. He's going to give you what you expect from Trent, but they've thrown in man marking and interception, which I think are two very nice additions for any kind of fullback. And apart from that, he's going to give you what you expect from Trent. He's not brilliant in every area, but he's got a lot of qualities, certainly with the end products. So for a lot of people, it could be a nice Trent card. So yeah, not an amazing pack on the whole, but certainly a few decent ones in there. So yeah, there you go. Hopefully you found this useful. Do let me know what you think of the pack. Let me know you've got from your free spins. I might do another live stream tomorrow. I'm gonna do a review of the English League pack probably over the weekend, and I will try and review the recent additions to the daily penalty game reward pack thingy, whatever you call it. The one where they've added Ricky Puig and Serginho, not Zé Roberto, as I mistakenly said earlier. I got my Brazilian left wingers confused, but yeah, I'll be reviewing some of those players soon as well, the new ones in that pack. So keep your eyes out for those ones, and 1 or 2 live streams coming up. And yeah, thank you for watching. As always, do really appreciate that. Hopefully you found this useful. Have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you soon. Take it easy.